Alrighty. I love how Joe Rogan goes. He goes 3, 2, 1, live. Anyway, we're going to be talking about something that might be on your mind, which is overwhelmed. It might be comparing yourself to others. It might be talking to other people and they're going, my life's amazing. Or you look on social media, my life is amazing. Or I just got into a relationship. I just had a baby. I just bought a house. I just got married. I just got a new job. I have all this money. I'm on vacation. And you start comparing yourself to them. And then you start saying, I actually want that, or actually I want more money, or actually I want a better body, or actually I want to get into a relationship. And then you start thinking about it, and then you start thinking about what you need to do to get there, and then the O word might come in, which is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed that you're not going to get it, that you're going to fail, that you're going to put something out there and you're not going to be able to get it. In other words, the Fire, or Amazon's Fire phone, or whatever they called it, what was that? That was a few $100 million at least, probably. I don't know. I have no idea how much it is to develop a phone. But that was a flop, okay? Google Glass, that was a few $100 million, probably maybe $1 billion worth of development. Total flop. Except, was it though? Amazon knew that, see, this is the thing. There's two ways to look about this, all right? And actually, I heard this from a podcast yesterday. Very interesting thing before I started talking about overwhelm and exactly what happens right after you feel overwhelmed, okay? So the guy on the podcast yesterday said that you try all these things, especially when, I talked about rejection yesterday. If you haven't seen the rejection video, highly recommend you do it, because this is what happens. So there's the bell curve, and then you have the long tail curve, or if you want to go this way. So in other words, there's a book out there called The Long Tail, and essentially the majority of people, things, grass, trees, whatever, take over a forest. The 10% of all trees are the largest in the forest. 10% of people own the majority of money. 10% of the agents do the majority of the business. 10% blah, blah, blah. It's just how it is. It's not inequality. It's just that there's 10% of the people that score all the basketball points. 10% of the people or teams get, or 10% of the cities collect all the people. It's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's just a law. It's a law. So we're not going to get into that. But in other words, in the long tail, it says, so for Netflix, why did Netflix ended up being up or beat up Blockbuster? By the way, there's one Blockbuster left in the United States, and there's a video about it. Highly recommend you go check it out. And what they were talking about was the long tail, which is you have the majority of videos that are watched by people, say Mission Impossible, Transformers, any of the Rocks video, or Star Wars, or things like that. And then you start going down, and this is viewership, and then you start going down, and then you get to genres that are completely out of there. It could be documentaries in Lithuanian. It could be, learning about tadpoles. It could be a small little flick that someone told them about. It was an indie film. And in other words, you have the majority of the people, and then it goes down to here. Why do I bring that up? So you have the majority, and then you have everything else available. That's the exact same thing when it comes to success. You try all these things, but there's only 10% of the actions that you do that actually matter, that actually do anything. When I go to the gym and I bust my ass, it's not about that. Yes, I'm in shape and there's endorphins and everything runs through my body and I feel better when I'm done. What I'm talking about is that when you're done, you have this long tail effect that literally affects your whole day. And the opposite is true, is that if you take all these little minute rejections, there is going to be something that just pops. It just hits and you go, you know what? I called 40 or 50 people, and then boom, I got that $40 million listing. I called 30 million. I called 30 people, and then boom, I got that one listing. That pop is exactly what we're looking for. And that's the thing, is that when you see this provided by other people, you see the great body or all the money or the girls or whatever the case is, you see it in the majority, say the 10% of the people that have all the followers that everyone follows, and then you get jealous. And then you see all the steps along the way, okay? This is what happens. You don't start. When you feel overwhelmed, you don't start. Because you see all this huge path to get to that pop, and you just say, I don't even want to get to that pop. I don't even want that ultimate reward, as this podcast said yesterday. In other words, there's all these rejections, and you're just doing all these things with an ultimate reward at the end, except everyone always says, well, they stop right before it pops. The thing is, they don't even start because they're overwhelmed. They don't even start because they see all these people with listings, with a great body, great relationship, with money, beautiful house, incredible smile, everything. They have it all. And then over that long tail effect, until it pops, they feel overwhelmed, and then they say, I can't even do this. I don't even know where to start. It's people that maybe have, even in the negative, which is, I have too much debt, or I'm in a really bad relationship, or my kids they're off the deep end. They're doing drugs. They're not even good at school, or I'm failing out of school, or this is just the circumstances I'm in. And then you don't even start. When you're overwhelmed, you don't even start. Perfect. Okay, Charles, so how do we get over this? Mini habits. The smallest, minute area. Highly recommend you watch Jordan Peterson's recent video, part 1, and he is in Reykjavik, Iceland. And hit from probably minute 10 to the 60 minute, 60th minute, there you go. Just watch that, and he literally talks about this. And he says when people are in really dire circumstances, what happens is they don't see a way out. They see that their room is a mess, their bed is a mess, their finances are a mess, their relationships, their family, their job, everything is a mess. They look like a mess, and it's just too overwhelmed, so they don't do anything. He said the smallest thing. He said, wake up when you want to wake up. That's a win, man. Congratulations. And he animates this out, and that's the exact same thing. Is that don't focus on getting your finances, and focus on the smallest thing. Waking up without snoozing. Wake up without snoozing for a week. Then wake up without snoozing for a week. Then the following week, you wake up without snoozing, and then maybe you get your gym clothes ready. You don't go to the gym, you just get them ready, okay? And then you just layer the mini habits. And ironically enough, those mini habits, confidence doesn't come, you don't see any results, you don't get any happier, your money is still the same, your body's still the same, everything is still the same, except ironically enough, those little things are the long tail that leads up. This is the duration right here. This is the time frame. And ironically enough is that the more that you're something that you really want to change, the more dramatic it is, the harder it is to see the pop. When you look in the mirror and you go, holy shit, I have a six-pack, or holy shit, I'm actually debt-free, or holy shit, I actually have a girlfriend. Well, the reason being is that you went through hundreds of approaches, hundreds of rejections. This is the best way to also think about it, is that my sister, I went on a first date yesterday, and my sister was like, you go on a lot of first dates. I'm like, it's like sales. You have to add them to the funnel because only a few are actually going to make it out. But if you're not adding anything into the funnel, if you're not actually eating correctly, if you're not actually going to the gym, if you're not actually meditating, if you're not making sales calls, if you're not doing anything, if you're not adding anything to the hopper, don't expect anything to come down at the bottom. Don't expect anything to slide down. And if anything slides down, you put maybe 3 days of work in, guess what's going to come out? Sludge. All right? So I highly recommend that, number one, you don't compare yourself to others online. They had their own journey. They had their own foibles. I have my own foibles. I have my own insecurities. I have my own overwhelms. I'm working this out as much as you guys are, number one. Number two is mini habits major habits are insane. I'm going to finish a book by this week. No. Finish a page by today. That's it. Finish another page by tomorrow. Consistency, by any stretch of the imagination, supersedes anything that you could think of, including once a week, once a week, once a week. No. Once a day, once a day, once a day. Once that becomes something, then add something else, then add something else. And then boom, 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 you have the pop, and then you say, I'm one of those people. That's exactly what happened with my health last year. This year with my business, now I understand about marketing, sales, automation. There's a lot of things that I learned this year that I had no idea. 10 years, coming up on 10 years into the business, all right? So highly recommend. And this is the thing, I'm just gonna leave you on this, and if there's any comments below, please, what's going on, Dan? What's going on, Erwin? Hope all is well. This is what I'm gonna leave you with, is that there will be a time that something happens in your life and it clicks, okay? And when it clicks, it could be you get that first listing, or you get that first big client, or you get you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, this actually feels good, or your pants fit better, or whatever the case is. Don't stop. That was my issue. I had a fear of success, not a fear of failure, fear of success. All right, and I would lower my temperature and be like, oh, that's too much money I'm making, or that's too much business that I have, or I'm spending too much time at work, or I'm spending too much time approaching girls, or whatever the case is. No. I had a fear of that. I had a fear of that I would have enthusiasm, energy, my body would be right, my mind would be working. I had a fear of that. I had a fear that I wasn't drinking enough because I'm Irish. It's in my family. That's all we do. That's all my friends are doing. They're going out. They're going on dates. They're getting shit-faced. And then I was like, well, actually, I don't want to be that person. I started to change my identity. Slowly over time, something's going to pop, and then you're going to be more comfortable on camera. You're going to be able to get the business you want, blah, blah, blah. It's not short-term. It's not long-term. There is no end goal. It's just you get a little bit better every single day, 1% better every single day. So hopefully this helped. If you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. You're the man, not scared of putting yourself out there. Listen, I would say wait till I start actually getting out onto the circuit and start talking, because there's a lot of times that I'm honest around, say the people that are around here. Like just now, I couldn't find keys for an apartment for an appraisal, like literally just right before this. And I gave it to someone to bring down to our front desk so an agent can pick it up. And I was like, what just happened? Radical honesty, honestly, with yourself and with other people is going to save you so much time. So highly recommend you guys obviously check out the other videos. Leave your comments below. About to go live on BPIU. Actually, about BPIU, I shouldn't say BPI YouTube. We're also going to be doing a little bit of marketing on that. BPI Funnies, which is going to be coming out. We're rolling that out probably in about a week. And we're bringing someone on for content, and then, it'll be fun. So any questions, leave in the comments below. Have an amazing day, and if you guys want to join me, I'm going to be over on BPI's channel right now. Talk to